The United States has the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we may be a very substantially enlarged
I'm not sure that's true.
country in the not too distant. Isn't it nice to see, for years, for decades, we're the same size to the square foot. Probably got smaller, actually. But we might be an enlarged country pretty soon. And one of the things we're going to be doing is drill, baby, drill.
Love it.
Because that's going to bring everything down.
Mark Carney, I know it's not his brand of politics, but in terms of work in a room, watch Donald Trump.
Nobody can. Yeah, he can work a room like Macho Man. Like, he is really good. Now, do they have the largest proven reserves in the world? No, they don't. But I appreciate the drill baby drill sentiment. Now, it's going to take some time before they figure out how they're going to retrofit their existing refineries, because many of them are equipped to handle only Canadian heavy oil. Or the alternative is, I think it's a oil field in Utah that's really not quite developed. They have heavy oil there, or Venezuelan oil. And I'm pretty sure they're not going to opt to take in dictator oil over friendly Canadian reduced rate oil. But the idea that they should be energy independent as a goal, I fundamentally agree with that. I think we should be exactly the same.
Oh, and Sheila, this is not conjecture. And by the way, I would respectfully challenge you about getting things done. When you're Trump, things get done. In his first term, after 70 years of misery, the U.S. was energy independent because of the fracking miracle. In fact, they were exporting energy, as far as I know. And I mean, look what we witnessed last week. People were saying, hey, you watch out for the first 100 days of Donald Trump. First 100 days, nothing. The first
minutes.
100 hours.
100 minutes. They're like swearing him in, and he's like, give me another. Give me another. Just signing executive orders. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I wouldn't bother signing them anymore to save Donald Trump. I'd get just a stamp with a signature on it and go like that. So I think this is highly doable in the next 4 years.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
In the next 4 years, I agree. But in the next 4 years, we better get to building some export pipelines here in Canada. That's all I have to say.
100%.
Otherwise, we're going to be shut right out. Let's bump ahead to this tweet from Ryan O'Connor. So last week, Justin Trudeau said that it would be our patriotic duty to not only destroy Canada's oil patch, but it would be our patriotic duty to switch from one highly processed sugar, ketchup, like a highly processed tomato syrup is what I would describe ketchup as, to another highly processed tomato syrup, because then you would really be on Team Canada. So he said, don't get off the Heinz ketchup and get on the French's ketchup, because French's is Canadian and Heinz is American. Well, it's sort of true. Heinz is, owned by John Kerry's wife's family. He's the first lady of ketchup, John Kerry. But Justin Trudeau is entirely wrong, because Heinz ketchup is actually made by Canadian. Like, sure, it's an American company, as so many of them are, but it's made by Canadians about 10 minutes from his door. Like, he's so stupid. He said Heinz ketchup wasn't made in Canada with Canadian tomatoes and therefore could be targeted in a trade war. Heinz had to place ads correcting this irresponsible untruth, attacking Canadian workers.
You know what, Sheila? You might be surprised by my answer here, because I think there is some nuance, but hear me out. Until this blew up in the news, I too, like blackface, thought that there was no more domestically made Heinz ketchup going back years ago when they did pull out of Canada.
Right.
And remember, French's ketchup, that became the trendy thing to buy. Having said that, if I were to write an article or do a commentary on Heinz or ketchup in general, or if I was not a journalist, if I was a politician about to make a speech, I would research in advance that I have all my ducks in order. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Considering the Heinz plant is like 10 minutes from Justin Trudeau's constituency office,
and that I
employing
didn't know
over
either.
1,000 people.
That's unbelievable. And so there is. Was I ignorant about this, like our Prime Minister? Yes, I was, folks. Did I report anything publicly without first fact checking it? No, I did not. But he did, and either he or one of his staffers, one of his minions, should have said, "Oh, Mr. Prime Minister, don't go ahead with that." I did a ton of research, i.e., a 10-second Google search, to indicate Heinz is back in our dominion making ketchup.
You could just be like me and not eat ketchup. There's more sugar than tomatoes in there if you care about those sorts of things. Just eat a Canadian tomato. Have a Canadian tomato and stay away from the ketchup wars altogether, because the real ketchup war is on your blood sugar. It's on your pancreas. Stay away from it.
Sheila, going back 10 years ago when I was told I had to avoid sugar and I started reading labels, I can vouch for what you're saying. I was in shock at how virtually everything has that, I guess, toxin, if you will, called sugar, highly processed sugar in it. And I will say this, I wish I could remember the brand to give them a plug. Lady Menzoid found me a sugar-free ketchup.
Heinz makes
naturally, like everything sugar-free, it costs twice as much, right? What's that?
It's made by Heinz. It's got a blue label on it.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Yes.
But here's the thing, Sheila. Like everything sugar-free, you pay a premium. But secondly, this actually, unlike a lot of sugar-free stuff, tastes better than the sugar-enriched ketchup. I swear to you. Yeah, so it's worth paying the price. Even if you're not diabetic, folks, check out the sugar-free ketchup.
Just avoid
it's a much nicer sauce.
Yeah, it's made by Heinz. It's not bad. And the sugar replacements are getting better all the time. It's not the gross aspartame taste. It's, sugar alcohols now. They're a lot better. Anyways, this is not a TED Talk about your pancreas. So let's keep going.